What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brian, the Casual Brian, with another Casual podcast. Today's podcast is brought to you by the Casual Brand. The Casual Brand, casually connecting you to the world. So, it was a crazy weekend. Uh, a lot happened. I feel like a lot goes down on the weekends. Is it just me, or does it seem like these weekends are getting out of control? I don't know. Maybe it's the holidays. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's being in Florida and things are crazy in Florida. But for whatever reason, it feels like there's a lot going on the weekends. I had a great weekend, good week, good first week in Florida. Love being back in Florida. Love being around my people. Yeah, man. Last year was tough. I definitely wasn't vibing with my Florida peoples, but I'm back on my groove. Back, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. Lots of love for a lot of people here in Florida. And that's not to say that I'm still not like I've changed my positions. I just, I understand that people feel the way they feel, and everyone's kind of doing what they feel is best. Um, so, a couple things I want to talk about today, and then of course we're going to end the day. Let me just make sure I got it. Yeah, see, I knew it. I knew it was there. We're going to end the day with live reactions on some tweets. So let's start with first things first. Let's start with COVID, because COVID is on the rise. Omicron. I've heard it pronounced a lot of different ways. I don't know the exact way to pronounce it. I think it's like Omicron. That's how it looks to me. That's how it sounds. There's a apparently some people have started calling it Omarion, or the singer. I don't know. I think it's in times of crisis, in times of dark times, it's important to have a sense of humor. But man, the internet just has zero chill. The internet has absolutely no chill. People are going around calling this thing the Omarion variant. And yeah, no, but Omicron is real, people. It's serious. And I haven't seen the article, so I don't want to speak too much, but I can kind of guess where DeSantis was going with it. I got like a headline. Maybe I'll pull it up right now. Let me just pull that up, because I got a couple of notifications about DeSantis kind of talking trash about New York. And if you're not aware, New York is kind of getting hit hard. And so if you're if you're someone who's like, oh, see, look, it's New York was very strict. I live in New York. And another thing to notice is that it's New York. It's not New York City, although New York City is not doing great, but it's New York. And if you ever visit New York, outside of the city, it's a completely different place. You know what I mean? I'm talking Confederate flags, Trump flags. It's a different place. And so, what happens outside of the city is not going to be a good indicator of what's happening in the city. Now, one of my big arguments for the way that New York handled the pandemic was, if you look at how the South and Florida in particular got hit by Delta, and then look at New York did a lot better. So what's the difference this time? Well, the difference is the variant. No, let's start. Firstly, the variant, it's even more contagious than Delta, which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy to even think about that. It's more contagious than Delta. Now, on the good side, it does appear that it's less severe. So when you get it, you're not going to get as sick if you are vaccinated. And I think even if you're not vaccinated, it's still not as severe, but I can't say for sure. But I know that if you're vaccinated, it appears to be less severe. But in addition to it's spreading really fast, a lot of people's original vaccines, have started to wane. So it appears that the vaccines were waning. Now, I remember when I first heard about the boosters and all that, and I was kind of like, man, come on. Are you kidding me? How is 2 not enough? And then also I was like, so with Delta, I didn't feel compelled to get a booster, or I wasn't planning on getting a booster. I thought, you know what? I'm good. I got 2. The vaccines are holding up. You might still get sick. You might still catch it. But all in all, you're going to be fine. And so I'm okay because my main thing was always severe illness and hospitalization. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to get into the hospital and be by myself and then be worried if I'm going to get very sick, if I'm going to get worse, if it's just going to be a couple of days. You don't know. That's the thing about it. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if it's going to be extremely bad. You don't know if you're going to be in there for 1 or 2 days. You don't know what it is. And so that's why I didn't personally want to be there. So in New York City or in New York, the vaccines are waning and there needs to be boosters. And now another thing too, even in the city, there are a lot of people that, I don't say a lot of people, because it depends on how you're looking at it. Percentage wise, there's not a lot of people, but let's say there's about 10%, that's 800,000. 800,000 people that do not wear masks, will not wear their mask. And I kind of feel like it's mostly people that are not from New York, but that's not true though. That's not fair. There's a lot of New Yorkers who just don't want to take the vaccine and they don't want to wear a mask. And so you can get away with that when the vaccines are holding up. You can get away with that when there's still a lot of outside activities. But now that everything's inside and we're in close quarters, you can't get away with that. Now, the good thing is, and I think that this is ultimately going to show itself to be a really good thing, is that everything in New York is vaccine only. You know what I mean? If I want to go to a concert, if I want to go to a restaurant, wherever I want to go, it's vaccine only. The gym I train at for jiu-jitsu, it's vaccine only. And so what that does is that limits the spread. It slows it down. Now, I mean, we're going to see. We're going to really, really see. The hard part, though, is that even though they're telling people to get vaccinated now, it's kind of too late, right? I mean, because it takes, let's say you're going to go the Pfizer route, that's like a 5-week process. So that's not really going to help anybody. I guess, I just, with the boosters can help because like, I believe within 48 hours, your body starts making antibodies. So boosters make sense, but it's tough. I guess the thought is people get vaccinated and we're going to have a less severe January and possibly February. And for that, I'm cool. I'm here for it. Anything that we can do to make this not as severe. You know what I mean? I'm not the idea of going through January without jujitsu. It just sucks. It just sucks. I don't want to go through January and February without doing jujitsu, but I have to be reasonable. I have to be responsible. I have to be realistic. If the numbers are crazy high, I can't do it. So I'm not too concerned about it. I'm in Florida. I'm training jiu-jitsu. I take my supplements. I've been boosted. I feel fine. I'm watching myself. It's in a difficult thing about the pandemic is that I've always had allergies. I wake up in the morning, I'm congested, and I'm coughing up whatever, and then by an hour and a half after getting up, I'm normally fine. But with this, man, it's just like, gosh, you just don't know. And then there's also, you don't want to expose anyone to anything. So I'm always kind of like, I monitor myself. If I feel like I'm still coughing a bit after I've woken up, then I try not to go places where I might expose people. But yeah, man, Omicron is a real deal, man. It sucks. It just sucks. That's the best thing I can say about it. It just sucks. It sucks. We should have known it was coming. That's why it's the reason I got boosted, because I knew that I didn't want to come to Florida and just sit in my house. I'm thankful my family's boosted, so they're allowing me to have a little bit of freedom. Not a little bit. They're allowing me to have freedom. I can go out. I haven't been going out a lot though. Yeah, and so it's just, you got to find what works for you. The only thing that I would say is frustrating for me that I don't really get is when people don't want to do anything. I just don't understand that. We have to be realistic. You don't want to get the vaccine? Okay, that makes sense. I can understand why some people don't want to get the vaccine, but to not be willing to wear masks in certain spaces, I don't get that. I just don't get it. I've had a couple of conversations with some friends about, vaccinations and vaccination cards. I we have a difference of opinion. I think that there's a lot of things where they ask for vaccination status or medical history and medical status. It's not that big of a deal, man. I One thing that I would really like to see more of, and that we do a lot of it in New York, is testing. Testing. You're getting ready to have a gathering, just do a test. They have at-home tests. They take 15 minutes, 10 minutes. I think some of them are even 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then everyone knows where everybody is coming into it, especially with like asymptomatic stuff, you know? So anyway, that's my thoughts on COVID. I think that I hope and I'm praying that New York's going to be fine. I think that we're going to know in about 2 weeks. Hopefully, they're going to be flattening the curve, but we won't know. I'm praying that and hoping that Florida is the same, but we won't know. So all I'm going to do is just keep watching the news, um, and then I'm going to, do what I need to do based on that. So with that said, let's move on to your boy Joe Manchin. I kind of feel like this deserves a photo. So we're gonna get a photo of your boy Joe Manchin, our favorite Joe Manchin. This guy is a real piece of work. Let's do what is this? The Insider? I don't know what the Insider is, but all right, we're gonna share this. And let me say this too. One, thank you so much for everybody that's been checking out these streams. I've had so many people tell me that they've been checking out these streams. I would really appreciate it if you could leave a comment or a like or anything that lets me know that you stopped by. But even if you don't, I appreciate the people coming up to me and telling me that they've seen these streams. It really means a lot. I'm really enjoying doing it, and I'm looking forward to 2022. Also, if you're watching this on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or Twitter, please be sure to like or subscribe. It really helps me to grow this, and like I said, I'm really excited about what we're going to be getting into next year. Going to have some guests. Going to be doing some more interesting streaming. I would like to do music, as well as anime. We're just going to grow it. So again, thank you so much to everybody that's checked out a stream. It means a lot. And yeah, here we go. Mention and share. So no, thank you. Get out of here. All right, so I'm going to put myself here. So Joe Manchin, this guy, the first time I heard him was on The View. He was on The View and he was talking, and I thought he sounded extremely sensible. I said, this person makes sense. What he's saying actually makes sense. It's reasonable. It's practical. And, I get it. He's from West Virginia. So he's not going to sound like somebody from New York or someone from LA. But he sounded reasonable. And I like that. And then immediately after he left the show, everything he said and did, I thought, okay, this guy is not the guy I thought he was. This guy is, I don't know what he is, to be honest, because he does generally side with Democrats, but he's just not for the Democrats. He's not for what the Democrats are about. And I'm not saying that, you need to be about what the Democrats are about, but if you present yourself as an ally to the Democratic Party, then there's certain things that you should kind of align with. Now, this is my thing. This is the frustrating thing for me. While I do not consider myself to be a progressive or extremely progressive, I did think that the Progressive Party or the progressive senators and congressmen and women should have stuck to their guns. They should have made sure that the bill stayed coupled. They should have held out, because now we're in this situation, and there is nothing they can do to Joe Manchin. Nothing. And we knew that this was going to happen. Joe Manchin is who we thought he was. He is not about the Democratic life. He's not about that life. And I don't know the people of West Virginia enough to know if he really speaks for them or not. But I don't expect, or I don't fault Joe Manchin for not caring about my needs, because he's not elected to get in there and care about my needs. But what I do mind, what I do take exception to, is that he presents himself as somebody who's an ally, a friend, working together with the Democratic Party. And so he receives benefits from the Democratic Party. And they just need to shut that down. I don't think it's worth it to primary him or run somebody against him, because I believe he probably has the support of his people. I don't know, but I believe he has the support of his people, the people of West Virginia. But what I do know is that if you shut down everything he's trying to do, then he'll have to start listening. He'll have to start getting in line, or pick a line. See, that's the thing about Republicans. You can like what they're for, you can agree with what they're for or not, but they get in line, and they are about the party, they are about the cause. Now, sometimes that can go against you. Sometimes that leaves you with a Trump party, because everyone's just getting in line. But the Democrats, I just am so frustrated with the Democratic Party. There's a lot about the Democratic Party that I like, that I agree with. In fact, morally speaking, I generally agree with them more. I think the heart of the Democratic Party is more aligned with what I'm in aligned with. But they just don't get anything done. They don't. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating, it's so irritating. It's like, come on. Come on, man. You know what? I appreciate their desire to, like, in Joe Biden, for example, I appreciate his desire to want to work with Republicans. That's great. That's sweet. That's cute. Oh my God, I love it. It's nice. But it's not working. It's not working. They're not there to work with you. They're not trying to work with you. They're not going to work with you. Okay? It's not going to happen. Now, I'm not saying that it's their fault or the one side's fault. That's the system. The system right now is broken. Can it ever be repaired? I don't know. Who knows? I believe all things are possible. There was a time where people were enslaved in this country. I'm sure they thought that there would never be a difference. There would never be a change. There was a time when women couldn't vote. I'm sure many women during that period thought, this is how it's going to be. This is what it means to be a woman. And that changed. So change is always possible. But as it is, Democrats are getting killed in this system. They are getting killed, man. We don't want to do this. We don't want to change that. Blah, blah, blah. Man, you got to make some moves. I just watched a great movie. It's not real, but it really talks about how the system in Washington works. And all this money is being pumped into DC. And I vote, and I believe that voting is something that I just can't say I'm not going to do, because I know what it costs for me to be able to do it. That being said, I completely understand people feeling like their vote doesn't mean anything. I completely get it, because all that money just comes in and just cancels out people's vote. The politicians do whatever makes them money. Joe Manchin, I don't even know what's running him. Apparently it's coal, which I'm like, why are we still having that debate? It is 2021, okay? All right, and we're talking about coal? Come on, man, come on. We're trying to get more electric cars, and you're talking about coal? Sometimes I just wonder. Sometimes I just wonder with our country, like, but again, let me say this. That's because I've lived in relatively big cities. I mean, I lived in Texas for 10 years. So I don't understand the perspective of people who live where coal is important. I don't get it at all. When someone says coal, I just think, what are you talking about? But for some people, coal means a lot. It's how they make their livelihoods. It's what supports their towns. So I get it. But horses and buggies, sometimes things need to shift. And I feel like coal is one of them. That's just me. That's just me speaking from no experience living in a place where coal is important. Maybe I'd have a different opinion if where I stayed was primarily funded by Cole. So yeah. So switching over, I was in the playoffs for fantasy football. Started off great. And then I don't know what you even call it. Before I talk about fantasy football, I want to talk a little bit about Woodley. Now, I don't know what's happening with Woodley. Okay? I don't know. I don't know if he took a dive. It looked a little suspicious to me. I mean, because what I'm thinking is I've never seen him get knocked out. You know what I mean? I've never seen him get knocked out in the UFC. Now, maybe Jake Paul can crack, you know? It just looked an awful lot like that scene from, what's the movie? With Michael B. Jordan. It's like a Rocky spinoff where he gets knocked out. Not saying he took a dive. I'm just saying it looked interesting to me. I'm happy for him though. He's making money. He's making money. I mean, I don't know if I would let someone knock me out for money, but because of the brain cells, I need those brain cells. But I think it's good. I think it's good what he's doing. I hope more fighters get paid because the UFC ain't paying them. It's just awful. It's just so bad what the UFC is doing because they have the money. They have the money. I understand they have a bigger roster, but the UFC is blowing up. And they have a lot of good relationships with ABC, or not ABC, ESPN. They could do it. They could pay more. And it's not even about the payment. It's about like the payment of the coaches, the payment of the weight trainers, the nutritionists, the payment for medical and all that stuff. You know what I mean? To me, nobody should have to be a full-time UFC fighter and have another job. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. And to me, it seems like it's embarrassing. If you choose to, because you want to live a certain life and you want to have a certain amount of money, that's fine. But no fighter, in my opinion, should have to work another job. I don't care if you fight one fight a year or 4 fights a year. If you're full-time for the UFC, there's no reason why you should have to have another job. It's crazy. It's embarrassing to me, but whatever. I'm not going to get off on the UFC. I just think that what Jake Paul's doing is cool because he's paying fighters. So back to this awful fantasy football nightmare I was having. So I have Leonard Fournette and Mike Evans. Yes. 2 major injuries. And you know what the thing about it is? I had the feeling it was going to happen all day. I didn't think they were going to get injured. I just didn't think they were going to show up in the way I needed them to. So, technically I'm not out, but more than likely your boy, I don't even want to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I have a slim chance, but I have a chance. His team could lay lay an egg. His 2 players he has left, they could lay eggs. It could happen. It's happened. I've seen it happen. So I'm hoping it's going to happen because, man, I was feeling good. And then I saw both of my players go out, and I'm just like heartbroken. And Fournette was playing good too. I know. Oh my gosh. Fantasy football is a cruel, cruel, cruel thing. You just work so hard for a whole season. I have a whole new level of empathy for players. You know what I mean? Like players who get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. God, man. It's almost worse than like not making the playoffs, in my opinion. Just to make it and just get bounced. Oh, no. Oh, so yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna happen tomorrow. I'll let you know what happens with my fantasy. Just keep my fantasy in your thoughts and prayers. Yeah, and man, these recent manga and anime. Well, I've been watching any anime. I made a promise to myself. I'm not gonna watch any more anime until I finish Gintama. I gotta do it. I'm not taking it out of 2021. Okay, I'm gonna finish it this year, and then I'm gonna move on. I can't do it. I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? I want to. I feel like it's holding me back. So I'm gonna finish Gintama. I've made some progress. I've watched like 3 episodes, 4 episodes. It's terrible, but you got to get going. It's just so slow. I wish there was a dub. If there was a dub, I probably would have been able to do it already. But man, it's just so slow. But man, some of these manga, man, whew, killing it, dude, killing it. I'm just enjoying it. But I am so hype for next year. It's a lot of good manga happening. I'm sorry, a lot of good anime. Both, not both, both. Apparently, My Hero's going to end next year. That's going to be cool. Definitely want to see that ending. They've been snapping. Who is it? Horikoshi? Horikoshi's been snapping. All right, let's get over on some of these tweets. I know what you guys have been waiting for, guys and gals. So again, just so you know, I'm looking at the screen. So if I look all weird or something, that's what it is. We live in a timeline where 3 Spider-Man crossover into the same movie and the Bleach anime returns. It is kind of crazy to think about. I am so hyped. I am so hyped for the return of Bleach. Oh my gosh, you don't even know. This last arc, the Quincy arc or the Thousand Blood War arc, it's so good. You just don't understand how good it is. Tom Brady has been voted into the 22. How is that news? You know what I mean? When I see stuff like that, I'm just like, did you have nothing else to report? Was there nothing else you could talk about? Duh, and or yes. Come on, man. You gotta do better than that. 15 times, so geez. 15 times. How long has he been playing? Sean Hannity's Twitter page, it's just, these headlines are just the worst. Refuses to comment on potential COVID outbreak at the White House. Seems like she should comment on that, if there is. So, so I just recently watched Red Notice, which is basically like The Rock. He has like a format. Like he's like, this is like a Rock movie. You know what I mean? Like it was good. It was funny. But it's a Rock movie. So either you like Rock movies or you don't. It was still a Rock movie, but it was kind of a departure in his character, which was Central Intelligence. Have you seen that? It's with Kevin Hart. Oh my gosh. That for a while was my plane movie. And if you're like, well, what do you mean by plane movies? Well, for me, if I'm on a plane, I have a hard time watching movies because I get nervous. And if the plane starts shaking or whatever, I have to stop and whatever. I've gotten better. I haven't done this in a while, but there's like a movie or a couple movies that I can just watch and I won't stop. So, that was my plane movie for a while. But I love his character in Central Intelligence. But Robbie Weirdick. Today, Steve Kerr was officially announced as Team USA's men's basketball. That's cool. I mean, I don't know if I care, but I can't say I don't care. But I don't know if I care though. I'm just not a big USA basketball fan. I don't know if anyone is. It's like we only care when they lose. That's a crappy place to be. You know what I mean? Like I don't even know why anybody would want to play for the US team because no one cares. If you win, you were supposed to win. But if you lose, everyone's on your butt. Here's what we know about what Manchin opposes in this legislation. Oh, Porter, it's going back to the jury. So I don't know if you've been watching this. So Kim Porter, if you're not familiar with this story, which, I don't know, I could see because there's a lot happening, how someone can miss it. But so what was happening with Kim Porter is she's the cop that thought she was going to tase somebody, but she shot him. Now, I have a lot of issues with that because she trained people on how to use the taser. So I'm a little confused as how an officer who trains other officers on how to use a taser. I think she was the use of force officer, but how she can mistake a gun for a taser. You know what I mean? Because she held it in her hand for a while. It wasn't like she just pulled it out and then tried to shoot. She said taser for like an hour. I'm exaggerating, but not by much. So anyway, this lady, Kim, Officer Potter, let's keep it like that. Let's be respectful. Officer Potter got on the stand, excuse me, little Freudian slip, and she started to cry. I'm over these cops crying. Look, I'm fully prepared to give her the benefit of the doubt and say that it was a mistake. It was an accident. She did not mean to shoot the young man. I am totally okay with that. That does not uh, mean that she does not have to face consequences. At the minimum, it's negligence. You know, this is the thing about guns, in my opinion. When you bring guns into the situation, there's a higher level of responsibility. Okay? And when things go south with guns, someone has to pay. Someone has to pay. Like the gentleman who there was an argument about a son or a child going with the father. Mother and the father were arguing. Boyfriend of the mother comes out, wants to be big man, starts whatever, talking, goes and gets his gun, fires the gun at someone's feet. No, jail. I'm sorry. You cannot shoot your gun at somebody and then say I'm in fear. Just bringing the gun out, man. You know what I mean? Have you? I don't know who that was, but whoever Nate Diaz punked like that. Oh my God. Let me see. Oh my gosh, that's like his whole drink. Who was that? Bro, you got to go hide for the rest of the night. Whoever that was. Oh my gosh. Yes. Elon Musk. Let me talk about something. So, Elon Musk is so irritating. And let me make sure everyone knows. I was a huge Elon Musk fan. I mean, I wanted a Tesla. I'm not a car person. The only car I've ever wanted was a Tesla. I think that they're brilliant. I think that they are the iPhone for cars. They are revolutionizing the car game. But I cannot and will not support Elon Musk ever anymore. Never. Pardon me. He is a I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. But the fun thing that I've been seeing today from a lot of people is that Elon Musk is going to pay $11 billion. So everyone's like, see, look, he's paying taxes. It's like everyone forgot earlier this year that they put out that piece where it explained that he had avoided paying taxes multiple years. He's busted. People are looking at him. I don't care. Pay it. You need to pay it. How much money did he make this year? It was hard for me to even find. I tried to do some research into how much money he made just this year or just during the pandemic, and it was hard to find. Why is it hard to find? We know why it's hard to find. Because they don't want you to know. I'll tell you how much his net worth is. It's $244 billion. Elon will be okay. Yes, sir. Pay that. Pay $11 billion. I am not losing any sleep at all. And he says it, and everyone runs with it. It's like, and then he's not my friend. I like the guy for sure, but he was talking about 61% of the people don't pay taxes. But then you look into it, and it was based on 2020, where so many people were out of work. You know what I mean? Like, it just boggles my mind how much people without money bend over backwards to defend and protect rich people from paying taxes. Do you realize that money would benefit you and your kids and the schools and the roads and the teachers and the policemen and the firefighters and everyone else? I don't understand why tax the rich is such a bad thing to say. We're all taxed. We're not saying tax only the rich. We're saying pay your fair share. Why can't they pay their fair share? They don't exist in a vacuum. They make their money off the American people, by the American people, by the government. The government, contribute to them. Police officers. I'm so over the way that our country bends over backwards to defend the rich. I want to be rich. I've made more money and I have to pay more taxes. That's okay. That's what happens. It's a blessing to pay more taxes because that means that I'm making more money. Jeez, it's not hard. And I'm not saying it feels great. I'm not saying it feels great to see a bunch of my money go out, but I mean, it beats the alternative. People need to just pay their fair share. That's all. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. And this notion that they're creating jobs, miss me with it. Miss me to the left or to the right. You choose. Miss me with that. Yes, that's great. I'm happy that you're creating jobs. Keep creating those jobs. Godspeed to you. But pay your taxes. Pay your fair share. Okay? You can do it. We need it, and you can do it. We got to stop just bending over backwards. Oh, look at this. I haven't seen this knockout yet. Oh my God. You see that? That's crazy, man. You don't see that's what's terrifying. Think about that. If you saw him at the bar, you're like, all right, well, the big guy. Just kind of keep moving. But then he just jumps up and kicks you in the head, and you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Good defense. Good defense. This is long. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. Do you see how violently that guy got knocked out? Oh, MMA is a tough world. My friend's trying to get me to train with his professional fighters. I'm like, bro, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? What part of getting punched in the face do you think I want any part of? I am so good. This looks like it's going to be nasty. Jab. No, I'm not like that. It's too long. Yo, I don't know this guy. I mean, I know like he's in Sex and the City and whatever, but man, these guys, they just, you know what I mean? They just come. They're coming for these guys, bro. They're coming for these guys. It's tough. It's tough. I don't know if he did it, but it seems like there's a different woman each day. It just makes you wonder, like, are they finding these women? Are they seeking them out? Because it always comes in like a trickle. I'm like, well, what's that about? Things that make you wonder. 3 games were postponed after more than 100 NFL players tested positive. I mean, come on, people. Omicron, no joke. And a thing about it, like, and I'm not trying to be shady. You know what I mean? Because we're 2 years into this thing. Everyone is making their own decision. But like the fact that they're letting these games just go on and letting people still come to the stadiums is crazy to me. It's just I don't know how they can legally. I mean, I guess no one has gotten super sick yet. I shouldn't say yet. I hope no one gets super sick. But man, it's just you're playing with fire. You're just playing with fire. With Omicron, it's just not smart. But we keep watching. They keep showing it. And I say we, because I'm watching too. But I wouldn't go to a game. I don't know if I would go to a game. Maybe in New York. Like I would go to a game in New York because everyone's masked and it's outside. But if Dustin and Nate both want it, Dana White says he'll make it happen. Why? Why would anyone want this? I have no desire to see Dustin Poirier beat the crap out of Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz he's an anomaly. He's the only person that loses fights and gets more fans. I mean, it's like all he has to do is just fight. As long as he fights, he's good. Because the last fights I've seen him in, he's been getting the brakes beat off him. So anyway, that's enough Twitter for you. But I'm really thankful that you stopped by. I hope you enjoyed the stream. It's feeling like 40 minutes is like the right time. I probably could do an hour, but you know what I mean? I'm not ready for an hour yet. We're going to keep it at like 35 to 40 minutes. So I'm really thankful for everybody that stopped by. Please, if you stop by or you see this stream, just give it a like, drop a comment, say hi, say whatever. And if you are watching this on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter, please follow or subscribe. I really appreciate it. Casual Brand, we got a lot of dope gear coming out next year. But before next year, you can go to the Casual Brand store through Teespring and get a link and get some of our new designs. We have plenty of long sleeve, plenty of winter designs for you. So head over and check that out. Also, follow one of our pages on Instagram, the Casual Grappler, Casual Jazzer, which is our biggest page, and the Casual Producer. Those are all dope. And yeah, man, I'll be back tomorrow, definitely at 4 p.m. So if you're enjoying the stream, if you enjoy it, be sure to come back tomorrow. Stay casual and keep investing.